a very weird situation on Saturday in Melbourne, Gord, because there's a Flemington meeting.
Oh my God! Well, to be honest, who cares where it is?
It's been 5 weeks.
Well, as long as you're finding winners, that's all that matters, and we've been smashing it
I know.
out of the park.
You know, I thought you were very brave to tackle Pakenham last week, and it was so it ended up so
juicy as. Oh, not allowed to say juicy.
So successful. Big hello to Dicko wherever he may be. Hope you're watching. Now Flemington tomorrow, they haven't raced there since obviously the Stakes Day, which was 5 weeks ago. Since then we've had places like Sandown, which has got some other name, and Ballarat inside, and a Moonee Valley
Pakenham,
program, and Royal Pakenham. And we kick off with a race down the straight over 1,000 metres. It's a fillies and mares race, and we see one of the horses well known to Sydney siders of late. In fact, Glenn Pollitt's horse in for a dig go down the straight in the first race, and she is favourite.
And this is very interesting because I am personally against it. I think it's a limited beast, and I think one of the Melbourne things will take that race out. That will either be number 1 Lyuba, number 3 Very Choosy, or number 4 Deja Blue. I actually preferred Lyuba's run against Very Choosy in the same race last start. And there actually are some common form lines between Deja Blue and Lyuba last preparation. I'd suggest that Deja Blue has more upside than Lyuba, even though it only won at Sandown last start. So you can probably do something with those numbers.
Dutch book, Gord. Dutch
well,
book.
Very Choosy was OSL mark, so I'd suggest that that was the one you'd probably find if you were more comprehensive.
Oh yes, indeed. Now race 2 is a mile race, 3 and 4 year old benchmark 70. That sounds like it's scraping the bottom of the barrel, and the favourite there is Galaxy Raider at just a tick over even money. Small field, only 8 to go round. Was there anything here, Gord?
Yeah, the 2 that actually ran against each other last start, actually, which is number 2 Galaxy Raider and number 3 Dollar for Dollar. Galaxy Raider was back in the field, and Dollar for Dollar took a more vanguard position. I think that was beneficial on that particular day. So I'd suggest they can turn it around, that particular result. So I'm going for Galaxy Raider to actually knock off Dollar for Dollar tomorrow, and I think
is the market.
The only 2 chances as well.
Okay, race 3, and we're up to 1,700 here. Another fillies and mares race, benchmark 84, and Dicko's horse Hell or High Water is attempting to repeat, and she's $5 in favourite at the moment.
I'd suggest number 2 Hell or High Water is a lay. Got benefits last start, won't be the same situation at Flemington tomorrow. As far as what I'd be interested in backing, I'm sort of against number 9 as well, because we saw it in that beautiful fast lane at Rose Hill mark. I admit that it probably got more upside than number 2, so it's still a chance, but my suggested...
Just always Firebird Fly.
Yeah, my suggested play on the race is to be against the favourite Hell or High Water.
Okay, so you're going to chuck the other one in there, like you're going to lay the 30 odd.
I'd lay them both and hope for a result, because I mean, what did you say it was? 35% or something like that?
Yeah. Down the straight course this time for race 4, which sees King's Command, who is a horse you mentioned in the Rosehill preview, and he's a tick under 4 to 1, and it looks like there's an equal favourite there in Divine Mr. Artie, who Craig Williams rides. Anything to say here?
King's Command will win again. I can't believe the price they've opened it up at. The only reason you're getting that price is because I think it's out of barrier 3, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, everybody knows straight racing. You want to get towards the outside. The other time it had actually flopped in a straight race at Flemington. It drew in barrier 11, I think it was, but it actually was forced back to the inside into the worst going. So I'd forgive that particular run and say if it gets any luck in running and gets to the right part of the track, King's Command will be winning again.
Okay, race 5, and this doesn't look like your sort of race. It's 2,500 metres, so it starts just before the winning post. It's the Derby distance, it's benchmark 78, and it does have a short price favourite trained by Mick Kent. Charlevoix is around about the 7 to 4 mark.
remember everything about this particular race, but I think this Charlevin is third up this preparation, or second up this preparation, after actually having a 2,300 metre run first up or second up or something like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm saying this is dead set stayer. It deserves to be favourite. It's a very good chance. One outside the market there that I've always had an opinion of, even when it was running around at Scone a couple of years ago, is number 7, King of England. So they'd be the two I'd be interested in that particular race.
And we've got a Sydney horse down there, Zorkan, who of course broke through at Kembla after being the subject of a demonstration at Canterbury. He then ran in a 2,400 metre race and perhaps missed the boat, like was tracking up nicely and then missed the run. Soviet Courage ended up coming underneath and getting the run.
I think he's a weak beast, so he's not the kind that I like going from Sydney to Melbourne, but it is 2,500 metres, Mike.
Yeah, we might snip that bit out later.
Yeah.
Back down the straight for race 6, it's a 3-year-old race, and the favourite is a horse that we've seen win at Kembla, Key. I believe he hasn't run since then, Gord.
No, he hasn't. I think it's over 20 days off, is it, Mark? 20, 30 days off or something like that.
He'll certainly be fresh, yes.
Yeah, I think it's a horse with a bit of ability. They're the kind of horses that I like going to Melbourne to really knock off and pick up prize money. I think its first preparation at run against decent horses, it didn't actually do anything very conclusive in those particular occasions, but it's had the spell, it's come back, it's absolutely dominated a rather weak race, but we've seen that on various occasions during the Spring Carnival, haven't we? And I think it can springboard off that, and I think there's a booking of a good jockey as well there too, isn't there? Craig Williams, is it, or something like that?
Craig Williams, he's always omnipresent, that's what he is. The Western Health First Response Pharmacy Cup, I'm not sure where that came from. 1,400 metres handicap, which I guess sees a few horses that are well known to everybody around here. And Snoopy, who we've spoken about in Sydney, is also the favourite in this race in Melbourne, and a similar price, $3.50. Obviously we're waiting with bated breath to see which way he goes.
I would be interested in Snoopy if he ends up running down there, but not at that particular price. I'd suggest, the way I've actually seen Melbourne market moves recently, that if Snoopy does go down there, I think at some stage of betting you might get $5 or a little bit more than $5. At that particular price, it's definitely a bet. I'd have to give a lot of credibility to number 3, Tashby, because it's been running in far superior races than anything else in this particular race. And number 2, Master of Arts, which I think is first up off the spell, Mark.
Yeah, and it's long odds, DK Weir.
Yeah, but it's a lightly racing with good win ratios, might have some sort of ability.
Any comment on Diubio, who's challenging Snoopy for favouritism?
I wasn't a big fan. Like, I found it last start, and when I find a horse and it lets me down, you know, I'm very quick to pen.
Very quick.
Yeah.
Right, so race, the penultimate is back up over a mile, and it's a field of 11, and 3-1 the field. Black Sheep, Darren Weir.
No interest.
Right, so that's the end of the penultimate. Sorry for your quaddie players, there's nothing to offer here. And then the nightcap is 1,400 metres, the Western Health Foundation handicap, and it's 7-2 favourite Brown Ben, who I know and love from winning his maiden at Canberra, making his debut at Beaumont, getting beaten up by a little filly.
No, keep going. I'm trying to.
Yeah, Brown Ben I haven't seen. I believe he's been racing in Adelaide of late, but a fairly limited conveyance, obviously trained by a fashionable trainer in Tony McAvoy.
I think De Circles was running around in Sydney at some stage too, wasn't it?
No, De Circles has done a lot of running around in Melbourne, and he was one of those horses that had very poor win record, and they finally had enough of him. He's 101 tomorrow. Sorry, Saturday.
I'd suggest if you're playing the quaddie legs, go short, field. That is actually a value play, because generally most of the dumb money out there actually does it exactly opposite.
Wants to be live, wants to stay live.
Yeah. And that's it.
All right, so
as far as the best bet, King's Command.
King's
Get a word
Command
again.
from Gord for Flemington, and hopefully we'll have Dicko back for his Melbourne input next week. And stay tuned for the action from the weekend. Don't forget that we'll be ranting on Tuesday instead of Monday because we're in the midst of a ding-dong legal battle on Monday. So catch you on Tuesday for the rant.
See you guys.